Good evening and welcome to this Monday, March 15th meeting for the Speedway Redevelopment Commission. We will call the meeting to order. The meeting was publicly posted prior to tonight, and we'll introduce the board members. Sitting to my right is our Vice President, Jennifer Miller. To my left is Rhonda Schwartz, our Secretary. To her left is Barry Gardner, member. To his left is Dr. Terry Reed with the Speedway School District. And not here this evening is member Gordon Rundle and our Executive Assistant Tim Ramian. Joining us at the podium this evening is our Executive Director, Mr. Tim Gropp.
Good evening.
We do have a quorum with 4 members here this evening. And was there any public comment?
There was no public comment this evening.
And no one from the public is joining us this evening. Hopefully we'll have better attendance next month at the new venue. So, moving on to the next item, consent of the meeting minutes for February 16th, 2021, the regular session. We have some amendments on that, but I'd like to approve those with consent, with the amendments being made to those minutes.
We need to know what the amendment is.
What's the amendment?
I was just asking that Tim Ramian expand a little bit on Tim's response to the parking lot on Main Street.
Perfect.
Verbatim for what he said during the meeting.
I'm sure Mr. Ramian will rewatch our meeting and update that appropriately.
We'll get that included in.
Thanks.
Any other edits or corrections to the meeting minutes? Hearing none, we'll approve those minutes with the approved amendment and approve those minutes with consent. And moving on to our claims, Mr. Gropp, could you run through those quickly for us?
Yeah, a few notes here. We've had several legal bills here, some of them with our general alcohol beverage permits. A quick note on that is the permit that we have is the Olinos permit, and we have to place that with new restrictions from the state. We've been putting in an escrow. We actually have to place it, so we'll be working to bring that back to you guys next month. That'll work in nicely to the 1300 block project where there's a liquor license that's necessary for that one. So we'll go ahead and use that license so we can transfer it over and handle that situation. Beyond that, we did have some snow. So pretty big hit on snow removal this year, more so than last year. And we're getting our first few office supply expenses for the new building. But nothing that wasn't accounted for in our budget or anything that we're concerned about. We're still doing fine, and I don't anticipate us having to go anywhere near what our budget numbers are for the new building. So we still have a few things to purchase yet, and we're splitting those up between town expenses and the SRC. Beyond that, we are finishing up some of our last payments with the annex. We had one more Comcast bill that came through, and everything else is pretty standard. As far as budget versus actual, the only line item I want to point out to you is the utility line item. We simply just, with the overflow of the annex expenses as well as purchasing Heaven Sent and having those expenses, 5242 Crawfordsville, we're just high on that. The flip side of that is we haven't paid rent in a couple months. The town paid our last rent payment through the town manager budget at the annex, and we haven't yet started paying our rent at the new building yet, so we're fine. I just wanted to point out that we're already at basically our yearly expense for that, and we'll be sure to budget that differently in the coming year. So, happy to answer any questions.
Anyone have any additional questions, concerns? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the claims as submitted.
Make a motion that we approve the claims as submitted. Second.
Hearing that, we'll proceed with the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion passes 4-0, and claims will be approved. Moving on to the director's report.
All right. Well, we've obviously been spending a majority of our time getting situated in 5300 Crawfordsville Road. We were able to actually go into our offices last Tuesday, so it feels good to start getting somewhat organized, although if you looked at my desk, you would think I did nothing, but just a lot of details now. They're still doing construction. We're still working through some issues and just trying to get everything ready for the public opening in April. But it feels good to have the team back together and have everyone kind of in sync again and have a place to call home here. So police moved in last week. We have IT on site working through all those issues. Things are going fairly well. And then this building, the old town hall, clerk treasurer's office, will be moving in Wednesday and Thursday. And so all parties moving in will be done by the end of the week. And then we'll just be working through all those due diligence items, trying to prep ourselves for being open to the public, or public meetings in April. We'll actually be open to the public at the end of the week. The clerk treasurer's office will continue. I think they're closed right now. I think it's by appointment only, but they'll now, effective the end of the week, they'll go to 5300, not 1450 Lyndhurst. We have been getting a few people to the lobby of the police station as well. Our offices, we don't really have a lot of walk-ins, so things are going great. I'm really excited for all of you to be able to come over and see it, and you're welcome to do so. Just let me know. Beyond that, Founder Square is moving along nicely. Aldi's is going at a rapid pace. I believe their hope is to be completed, if not open, I don't want to speak wrong, by June. So that's probably a completion date. And they got stack shells and all that. So they're moving fastly, and right at this point, I wouldn't bet against them. So things are moving fast there. Atlas came back and put in the additional storm piping that was necessary. We're just now, the only thing that's really left to do is paving. Plants are starting to reopen. We don't have an exact time when they're going to come out and finish the paving, but it shouldn't be that much longer, maybe by the end of the month or mid-April here. So we're getting really close to our portion of that project being completed. Crew Car Wash, we should see some action on that really soon too. We have their ILP, we've gotten their stormwater sign off, so we're just basically working on local permits and a pre-construction meeting and getting their erosion control up, and we should start seeing some construction on that lot as well. So also from the last time we met, it was announced that the state of Indiana had awarded the senior living project the 9% tax credits necessary for that project to move forward. So we're excited about that. That is a 60-unit age-restricted basically apartment complex for 55 and older. So that it's a really nice project. That'll start going through the approval processes and design processes later this year. Hopefully construction by the end of the year will be started, probably not completed until next year. And same thing, Hampton Inn's working on their approval process, and they shouldn't be too far out from being able to start construction as well. And then hopefully we'll have an announcement or two on a couple other additional lots here within the next month or so. So Founder Square is coming along nicely. Elsewhere, we continue to work through the approval processes of 1300 block. We got the next steps at the town council. We have another, we'll actually introduce the bond ordinance at the next town council meeting. So the process is continuing to move, and we'll continue to check off the steps to get the approval processes done. I know that the developer Rebar is anxious to be breaking ground on that sooner than later. So we'll continue to push our part through so they can start working as well. And on the Wilshaw project, we've had a lot of productive conversations. We're trying to find the best path forward by creating several options. So Loftus Robinson, the developer, is on a short leash. They have an option to potentially move forward. We're allowing them to pursue that. But we're kind of creating exit ramps if things don't pan out. We don't want this to drag on another 3 to 6 months and then get nowhere. So As that process is going on, we're trying to work on option B and C if that doesn't work out. So we're getting close. We're hoping to have an economic development agreement amendment with, before you, hopefully by the next meeting, if everything works out well. So we're making progress. There are some paths forward. All of them have their different hurdles and steps necessary to move forward. So we'll keep you posted and let you know if anything changes. That's all I have.
Thank you.
So I have a question. When they move the office over there,
Yes.
are they going to move that place where you put your bills in?
Yeah, we'll no longer have a drop box at this location. There's actually a drop box on the side of the building. You'll come in and around the building, and there's actually a spot where you can drop right into the building, much more secure, right into the
It
court
won't
treasurer's
get
office.
hit like that one.
Well, interesting you bring that up. So we're working on a barrier there that wasn't installed. Hopefully we can get that installed prior to the end of the week, so that doesn't happen. I'd hate to see that nice new brick have a car halfway inside of it. So.
Yeah.
But yes, there is a drop box. We're working on signage, and you'll be able to basically come off of Crawfordsville Road, drive around the building, pull up, drop your bill right into the clerk treasurer's office from the outside. So, and as always, there are online options, and you can come in and pay your bill in person during work hours as well.
Any additional questions? That concludes the director's report. Thanks, Mr. Gropp. Appreciate that. Moving on to items of new business. The first item being the request for the use of the SRC lot at 1068 Main Street, the Speedway Market.
Yeah. So the town is starting up the Speedway Market, town run with our Parks Director Tammy Smith and Communications Director Kelly Turner leading that charge, as well as several of the existing vendors that are excited to be here in Speedway. They are requesting use of the SRC lot at 1068 Main Street. This will be on Thursdays. I believe the market is 4 to 7, but they're requesting to be able to close the lot from 2 to 7 Thursdays. Essentially, the rest of starting any time here through October. Weather dependent on that last month. So, and to see how things are going. But, so it would be Thursday afternoons basically. And the reason for the 2 hours before the market is to be able to clear the lot out, be able to get cars to be able to leave, and then allow vendors to set up, be ready. So similar to what we've done in the past. And I have no issues with that on a Thursday afternoon.
That's the lot north of Charlie Brown's, right? Where
Yes.
the War Memorial is.
Yep, it's the War Memorial, former substation.
Very good. Any questions or concerns with regards to that, usage of that lot? It's a great use, glad to have the market back. Do we need motion or consent for that?
You can do a motion. Doesn't
Okay.
hurt.
That being the case, we'll entertain a motion to approve the request for the use of the Speedway Redevelopment Commission lot at 1068 Main Street.
Mr. President, I make a motion that we approve the request for the use of the SRC lot located at 1068 Main Street for the Speedway Market.
I'll second.
Motion and second. Appreciate that. We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. None opposed, and motion passes 4-0. Moving on to the next item of new business, the Resolution 2021-02. Resolution of the Town of Speedway, SRC, amending the declaratory resolution for consolidated redevelopment area and matters related thereto at the 1300 block.
We just like to make long titles.
It's very wordy.
Meetings.
Mouthful.
Very
You're
wordy.
welcome. This is a step forward in the 1300 block process. We're hoping not to do, but it's, so essentially, if you recall, we signed a contract with Barnes Nuremberg to do our TIF restatement, part of which is adding projects and deleting projects in the economic development plan. We're not quite as far along in that process as we were hoping to be by this month, but we need to add the 1300 block project to that economic development plan. So this is the first step. It's a typical TIF a TIF process for amending the TIF, which is declaratory resolution, council approval, confirmatory resolution. So we are simply, with this resolution, moving a little forward of ourselves on the restatement and adding the project in so that when we issue the bond, the project's already in the plan and we've met the state requirements for that. So we'll still be doing the restatement. We're hoping to be able to bring that forward in April, but we need to keep moving on 1300 block project.
Any questions or concerns in regards to the resolution? I'll entertain a motion for resolution number 2021-02. Let somebody else read it this time.
Oh, yeah, you two set me up there. Maybe I wrong. I see how it is. You guys been doing this left and right. Noted. I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2102, the resolution of the Town of Speedway Redevelopment Commission amending the declaratory resolution for the consolidated redevelopment area and the matters related thereto, the 1300 block project.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second.
I will remember that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. None opposed. Motion passes 4-0. Thank you. And moving on to the next item of new business, parking lot bids for 4735 West 16th Street and 4940 Crawfordsville Road.
Yes, so we had our bids were due for both 4735 West 16th and 4940 Crawfordsville Road last Wednesday at 2 o'clock. Tim Ramian, our representative from American Structure Point, myself, met in this room. We received one bid per lot from Millennial Contractors LLC. They were on time and met the requirements. Unfortunately, the prices were approximately, not quite double, but almost double of what we were anticipating on our engineering bids. So we're going back and looking to see what can be changed or what needs to be altered. But our recommendation this evening is to reject all bids and have us go rebid this with some, tweak the bid package a little bit and rebid the package.
Fair enough. Very good. Motion to reject those then is what you're looking for?
Yeah, we're looking at a motion to reject.
perfect.
I would probably do them separately too, since we bid them as two separate projects.
Yeah, since they're individual projects. I'll entertain a motion to reject the bid package for the Speedway Overflow lot located at 4736 West 16th Street.
Mr. President, I'll make a motion that we reject the bid for the Speedway Overflow lot at 4735 West 16th Street.
I'll second that.
All in favor of rejecting the bid, say aye.
Aye.
Uh, None opposed. The first bid is rejected by a vote of 4-0. And now I'll entertain a motion to reject the bid for the Speedway additional lot at 4940 Crawfordsville Road.
Mr. President, I make a motion that we reject the bid for the Speedway additional lot at 4940 Crawfordsville Road.
I'll second.
Appreciate that. All in favor of rejecting the proposal for the Speedway additional lot at 4940 Crawfordsville Road, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And none opposed. The motion is rejected 4-0. And hopefully with a rebid and maybe a different time frame and some reworking, we'll be much more successful in our attempt to get that work done.
I will reach out directly to Millennial Contractors. They did, other than, I think there's just a lot of work out there right now, and these are smaller projects, and we appreciate them bidding and meeting all the requirements. It just doesn't fit within our budget at this time.
Would also like for the public posting to be a little more clear on exactly what the scope of work is. That would be helpful. Just my 2 cents. And moving on to the final item of new business, Resolution 2021-03, resolution concerning the acquisition of real property.
Yeah, so this is a resolution we've seen several times in the past. This is the first step in the redevelopment commission's process to potentially acquiring property within the town. This resolution allows us to make an offer of the average of 2 appraisals to a property owner. And we're requesting approval to move down this process. And sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't, but this is the first required step towards that.
Any questions or concerns with this resolution? All right, hearing none, we'll entertain a motion on Resolution 2021-03.
Mr. President, I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2021-03, a resolution concerning the acquisition of real property.
A second.
Motion and a second. We'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And none opposed. The resolution passes 4-0. That concludes the new business. Old business, any items that you'd like to discuss?
Nothing at this time.
Very good. Anyone else have any additional comments or statements they'd like to make?
I think many of the Speedway restaurants on Main Street and others are planning some St. Patrick's Day festivities, along with basketball, I'm sure, through the weekend. So please support them.
Very good. Very
Yeah,
good.
I'll be watching the side of the JW Marriott updating their bracket every day. That'll be fun.
Very cool. Our next meeting will be on Monday, April 19th, and that will be at 5300 Crawfordsville Road. That'll be at our new facility. So looking forward to that. And I don't have anything else. Everyone good? We will adjourn the meeting with consent. Thank you.